This video was produced based on an article by Lingshan Hermit. All rights reserved. Any infringement will be prosecuted. Looking across human society, the history of the majority of ordinary people being able to receive a basic education spans only a short century or so. If you think about it carefully, the fact that the vast majority of people around us are literate is a development of only the last 1 or 2 generations. Since Frederick the Great pioneered basic compulsory education in the Kingdom of Prussia in the 18th century, many have benefited from it. Receiving a literacy education has made them feel distinct from their peasant grandmothers. They can read newspapers and letters, express their own opinions and ideas, and even work for newspapers or participate in community voting. However, it is important to note that being educated does not mean you have become smarter, nor does it mean your fate has changed, yet almost everyone who has received an education falls into this illusion. This illusion is usually the beginning of their life's tragedy. Therefore, as I look over the lives of many, seeing how they begin and end, seeing how they resist fate only to be eventually pressed into the dirt by it, it is truly difficult for me to say whether they have benefited from this or been harmed by it. It is now early morning in March 2026, and my cat is meowing in the hallway. It might be hungry. Meanwhile, cheap missiles from the land of Persia are raining down upon the heads of those in Tel Aviv. One consequence of the popularization of basic education is that everyone begins to feel extraordinary and starts to miscalculate their own position. For example, they feel they are qualified to judge who is right or wrong between Iran and Israel. One consequence of the popularization of higher education is that many people begin to feel they are investment geniuses like Warren Buffett. They have read the history of Konosuke Matsushita's rise. They know about the 60 million year evolution of cats. They know that almost all members of European royalty in the 19th century were related. For instance, George V and Nicholas II were cousins. And they even know about Pushkin's secret diaries. They all think they are incredibly clever, so they refuse to listen to anyone else's opinion. Besides knowing the evolution of cats and the cause of Pushkin's death, they also know that one should liquidate and exit an investment at the right time, and that money should be pocketed for safety. But as far as I am concerned, they are still not smart enough, because what they do not know is this: liquidating and exiting is not truly exiting, and pocketing for safety is not actually safe. Since the Industrial Revolution in 19th century Europe, human greed has been thoroughly activated. In these 200 years, humans have designed countless ingenious, legal, and seemingly justified methods to steal your wealth. Thus, unless you can flee the Milky Way, you have nowhere to hide. Furthermore, if you are too greedy as a person, there are many other forces beyond humanity whose task is to maintain balance. In other words, if wealth does not belong to you, it will slip from your hands in various ways. If wealth is obtained by harming others, you will be forced to pay various costs in return. Therefore, I have always believed that the safe is an extremely stupid invention. It originated in Western civilization, and it gives you the illusion that you can lock up wealth. I have said before that the world is divided into truly smart people and falsely smart people. If you are a truly smart person and you genuinely understand what the world is like, rather than being told by others what it is like, that is well and good. The fear is that you are just the falsely smart kind, the kind of smart fool produced by modern education. Consequently, you will believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that Chinese-style slow-cooked soups have no nutritional value, and that Zelensky represents the righteous side. Your favorite books are likely things like Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. Thus, if Israel and Iran go to war, you will certainly stand on Israel's side. You have been educated to believe you can distinguish right from wrong, and you assume you understand everything in the world well enough to know who is righteous. You believe that as long as you are smart enough and act secretly enough, you can avoid many disasters. You have no understanding of your true state, so you mistakenly believe you can control the world, that you can act with ease and restraint, and that you will not be led away by greed, and this is precisely where you are most foolish. There are many people in this world teaching you how to make money, but no one teaches you what to do after you have made it. No one teaches you how to preserve money, and no one teaches you what the world is really like. As a result, for many, wealth is merely passing through their hands. Someone like Buffett might tell you that wealth is the compensation for one's cognition, or say things like no one gets rich by working. In my view, the destructiveness of these words to the human world is immense. If the Hiroshima bombing harmed hundreds of thousands, these words of his are still causing people all over the world to bleed and suffer continuously to this day. Many people use his words as a righteous excuse to commit fraud. While they harm others, they are also harming themselves. More importantly, they believe they have earned money by following his experience. But money being in your hands does not mean it is yours. Because no one teaches you what the world is like. No one teaches you what is in the jungle. No one teaches you cause and effect, karma. No one teaches you the importance of contentment. And even fewer teach you that the ego is your greatest enemy. On the internet of 2025, everyone is teaching you how to use AI to automate money making, how to use cryptocurrency and self-media to earn money, and how to earn enough in the short term for the rest of your life. But no one teaches you what the world is like. No one teaches you what happens if you obtain more than you deserve. No one teaches you how to correctly handle the relationship between yourself and the world. No one teaches you empathy and compassion. And even fewer teach you how to correctly position yourself. They only know how to incite your greed and teach you to buy things you don't actually need. They feed your ego and encourage you to continue your erroneous self-perception indefinitely. Of course, someone like me cannot teach you anything either. I can only tell you that there are many beautiful things in this world, as well as many unbeautiful things. I can only tell you that everything is impermanent, so the money you saved up for the rest of your life could very likely be gone in a few days. I can only tell you that most of the time, things will not develop as you expect. A major reason many people fail in life is that they believe they are destined to live better than others because they are educated. But they are merely educated, and this usually does not mean a change in destiny. They certainly won't see it that way, though. They will assume that having a higher education means they will be smarter than others, live better, and have more choices, that they absolutely must live better than everyone else. If all this doesn't happen, they think something must be wrong, and they will use various methods to correct it, adopting Buffett's methods, which ultimately leaves them in extreme misery. Therefore, if you think this way too, you will also become a victim of this notion.